So I'm dressed as JD today because, let's face it, we all love us some Psycho, and I'm probably going to marry a serial killer. Well, hello there, and welcome back. What's up, guys? It's Steph. That wasn't my usual intro thing, but anyway, you guys seem to really enjoy the Be More Chill book vs. musical, which, like, last time I checked, it had, like, 2.5K, and that's freaking insane. Thank you guys so much. I will be doing a part 2 of that video because you guys in the comments have been leaving some really good remarks about things I missed, different things that you thought I should have gone over but didn't, and you made some really good points, and I want to go back over it, so there's going to be a part 2 of that coming soon. But today, we're here for the Heathers. These trench coat sleeves are too small, short, whatever. No, camera! Don't know what happened there, but we're back. I'm totally leaving that in because... why did that even happen? Okay, but getting to it. Getting back to it. So this play is based off the 1988 film of the same name, starring Winona Ryder and Christian Slater. I mispronounced her name, but we're going with it. If you have yet to experience either version of the Heathers, I recommend clicking off this video right now because we're going to be going into spoiler territory. We're going to be talking about things in both versions, so if you don't want to be spoiled, leave, come back later, yell at me in the comments when I miss something. No, I appreciate your guys' feedback, and if I do miss something or I leave something out, please leave a comment down below, because I would love to hear what I missed, because, let's face it, no one's perfect. I miss things in Be More Chill video, I will probably miss things here, or it will just be like some things I don't go over, and guys will be like, well, what about this? So, let me know, okay? Also, this play, if you're unfamiliar with the play and the movie, full of murders, suicide attempts, and fake suicides. So if you're not cool and you're triggered by that, I would also recommend clicking off this video because we're going to be talking about those subjects. Stay safe, my friends. So before we even get into the same and differences, I just want to say that I think the musical had better flow than the movie. Like, I've watched both because someone, like, some blessed soul uploaded the play to YouTube. And then there's the movies on Netflix right now, so that was really convenient. But I was watching the movie. It just, I felt like the musical had better flow. It was like I could get into the musical more. I don't know if it was just like the music aspect of it, or I don't know. Some things were better explained on different aspects of it. We're getting into it. Okay, let's get going. I'm rambling too much now. So here's some things they left the same. Guys, remember that conversation that leads up to the song Fight For Me in the musical? With that awesome slow-mo punch, and it's the most epic thing ever? Well, that conversation is the same leading up to the moment. But when the moment hits, it's a slightly different, which we'll talk about later. But that conversation is pretty much a direct pull from the movie in the musical. Pretty much the plot was kept the same. They didn't really change that much. It was pretty much dead consistent. Like the plot was pretty much dead consistent to the movie. The musical plot was, you know what I mean. But, like, unlike with Be More Chill, where they tweaked quite a few things, this was pretty much dead on. Of course, there were slight alterations, because there's going to be when you change the adaptation, when you change through adaptations. But it's kept pretty much on point. And also, like, Be More Chill, like, there were a lot of direct quotes from the movie to the musical. Some of the quotes from the movie actually became song titles, like Our Love Is God. That was a quote from the movie that became like a full song in the musical, which is like, that song is lit. So when Veronica is drunk, she and at a party, she does end up like vomiting like right in front of Heather, like on her shoes, and like possibly on her shoes. I don't know if we ever got confirmation it was on her shoes, but like right in front of her, like, and around her, embarrassed her. And she's like, you know what? You're dead on Monday. It's like, same thing. I just killed my best friend. And your worst enemy. Same difference. JD and his dad still have that weird kind of role reversal thing. I don't know what to call it. Where they'll talk for each other in conversation. I don't know what to call it. I just know it's like it's kind of weird. And that's also in the movie. After Veronica breaks up with JD, he does blackmail Heather Duke in order to get the student body signature on the sheet. The whole entire student body. As soon as right after the bomb, Veronica comes in, she grabs Heather D, and it's like, plants one right on her cheek, yanks off the scrunchie, and is like, yep, it's mine now. After her suicide attempt, Martha does ride around on a little go-kart thing, this little scooter thing, through the school, just like in the play. And that was really funny, because just like zooming down the hall like that. It was really funny. Alright, that was pretty much what this is the same. Like I said, like the plot was the same. A lot of like the main like points that hit in both the musical and the movie were the same. But now we're moving into different territory. See, when I make these like scripts for these things, I always make the difference category smaller than the same category. When the same category has less than the differences. Who lets me do things? Okay, so let's start off with the differences, guys. So one of the differences, before we get into like kind of the main plot with the differences in like plot and things like that, storyline. So I want to say like a lot of the lines, like I said, there were a lot of lines that were like direct quotes from movies, but they switched around who said them. Like the patronizing bunny thing, how the Miss Fleming says it in the play. In the movie, it's I believe her dad that says it to her. They're having this conversation like back and forth. I believe it was right after JD came back with the fake suicide note. I believe that's when it was. I'm not sure, but I know that her dad said it in the movie. In the musical, it was given to Miss Fleming. And like even the back and forth between her mom and dad in the musical, that was between Veronica and her dad in the movie. Honest, you guys should watch the movie. So the movie opening, it starts out, we're going to skip past the main opening with the Heathers walking around with their little croquet things going. But like when we get to, like when the main story starts, it opens with Veronica already being in the Heathers friend group, like in their little clique. She doesn't have to like work her way into it, be like, I crave a boon. No, she's already there. She's already working for them, basically. That's pretty much what you want to call it. I'm really not that. So in the play, in the musical, Veronica, like, it opens up with first day of senior year, but in the movie it says that Heather Chandler is a junior. In the play, aren't they all like in the same year? So I'm assuming they bumped it up a year rather than giving it that. But I don't know if they ever like specified the Heather's age or like what year they were in the musical. All I know is that Veronica was in her senior year, and everyone else was in their senior year, I think, because homecoming party and stuff like that. But I'm not quite sure if they ever specified the Heathers. I'm not sure. Now, in the movie, Veronica's costume color never really stays consistent. She starts out in, like, gray, black, white, and grays. Then she has some purple. Then she, like, it's never, like, a consistent color. And I know it's like, movies, they change costumes. They're not going to wear the same thing every day. Except the Heathers kind of do, so, and JD. And Veronica is just never consistent with her outfit. I don't know, it's a little fun fact. Whenever you think of, like, the Heathers and Veronica, you think of purple, or some people, like, think of it as, like, a kind of purplish blue. I don't know. Colors are weird. But in the movie, it changes up so much, like, she just doesn't really have a set color like the Heathers do. So I thought that was interesting. Now, in the movie, Veronica's best friend wasn't Martha. In fact, she didn't even really know Martha. She knew her as, like, oh, that's Martha Dumfrey, and that was pretty much it. In the movie, Veronica's best friend was a girl named Betty Finn. And it was this little girl with glasses and everything. And that was her best friend. She didn't even know Martha in the film until the very end, which we'll get to. Now remember, at the very beginning of this video, when I talked about the conversation, my slushie, when I talked about the conversation that led up to Fight for Me, well, like I said, the conversation was the same, but it wasn't a fight that happened next. What happened next is that JD pulled out a freaking gun on Kurt and Ram and shot blanks at him, which is kind of... He did get suspended. Surprised he didn't get a worse punishment, but it was the 80s, so was it more laxed with things like that? I have no idea, but yeah, he straight up pulled a gun and, like, fired blanks at him, and it was like, holy shit! That line is very accurate from the play! So in the movie, remember the scene where Freeze Your Brain takes place in the 7-Eleven? It's a big part of the song. Well, in the movie, she actually meets up with JD at a place called, what was it? At a place called Snappy Snack Shack. That's a tongue twister. But she meets up with them at that place. It's probably a place that I don't know if it was like a real place or somewhere they made up for the movie because they couldn't afford the rights to 7-Eleven, to use like 7-Eleven or whatever. But, who knows. Fun fact, it was Snappy Snack Shack in the movie. I can't even say it right, guys. Now, one of the big lines in Freezer Brain is, I've been through 10 high schools, they start to get blurry. But in the movie, he's been to 7 schools in 7 states. It's just that for the musical, they added more schools to, like, and I think it kind of, like, I don't know which one is, I think, like, the 7 schools and 7 states thing is more believable, but the 10 high schools really, like, messes a kid up, like, especially, like, in that period of time when you're, like, start going through puberty and all that other crap, and you're, like, constantly moving around. That would really mess a kid up, and it does, because JD becomes a murderer. Now, in the movie, Ram's party didn't happen. The party where Veronica and Heather Chandler get into their falling out was actually some college party that the other Heathers didn't go to. It was just Heather Chandler and Veronica. Heard the man, it's time to rage. I know how everyone was like partying at Ram's party. Yeah, no, at this college party, Veronica was not having a good time. Like, not at all. Not fun. Now, even though Martha wasn't Veronica's friend in the movie, she did have that embarrassing moment straight from the movie in play. The Heathers did have Veronica write the note, and Heather D passed it on to Martha. Except it happened in the cafeteria instead of at Ram's party. So in front of everyone, Martha went up to Ram, questioning about the note, and everyone started laughing at her. And it was really sad. I think it was sadder than in the movie, because in the movie she actually had Veronica to keep her away from, like, the pig pinata and all that. But in the movie she had no one. And she was she ran out of the cafeteria, and it was really sad, and I really felt for Martha. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. Another thing. We all love the song Dead Girl Walking. I know I listen to it at least once a day just to get that. Where is that sentence going? But in the movie, Veronica doesn't sneak in through any windows. JD is the window sneaker in the movie. He comes in, he's talking to her as she's, like, furiously writing in her journal after the Heather incident. And they end up playing strip croquet and getting it on in her backyard. Fun times. Do parents just never listen for what their kids are doing in these things? I mean, in the musical, they're singing at the top of their lungs, getting it on, and JD's dad is like, I'm not hearing anything. And then in the movie, they're just, like, playing strip croquet in the backyard and doing it. They're like, well, I get, if there's, no, they were like juniors in the movie. That's like, what the heck are the parents doing? No, is no one responsible? Now in Heather's death scene, we see in the play she's grabbing Veronica and she's like, corn nuts! Which she does also say in the movie. But in the movie she also, like, falls through a glass table and it's like, and it's like just for that added dramatic effect, and it's great. Now I'm like, so fun fact, my favorite song from the musical is Blue. Because it's 2 dudes drunkenly singing about their balls. You can't top that in musical theater. Fortunately, that scene was very different in the movie. At Heather's funeral, there's so many Heathers! At Heather Chandler's funeral, Heather McNamara asks Veronica if she'll go on a double date with her and Ram. Is it Ram? On a double date with her and Kurt. So she would get Kurt, Veronica would get Ram, and Veronica's like, fine, as long as they don't get blackout drunk and go to cow tipping. They got blackout drunk and went cow tipping. It was hilarious. That was, like, one of the funniest scenes in the entire movie. But in that scene, like, Heather and Kurt are, like, off doing it, and Ram's just like, Veronica, please, and she's like, ew, no, and, like, kind of walking off, and just kind of passes out. Then JD pops up, and he's like, hey, want to go get a slush? And she's like, yeah, let's go on your motorbike, man. So Veronica leaves for JD, leaves Ram to be passed out, and leaves Heather and Kurt to get it on in the field of cow shit. Ain't nobody home tonight. In the movie, Heather Duke really takes on the red role. She not only takes over Heather's scrunchie, but she takes the red costume, the red outfit, and she just like takes it over. Like as soon as Heather Chandler dies, she's like scarfing chicken in the girls' locker room, and like both the other Heather and Veronica are like, wow, this is different. She's like, I don't have anyone to tell me to fat shame me anymore. And that's when you really start seeing, oh, she is like living with Heather's death. That scene right before the intermission with Our Love Is God. Y'all remember where Veronica sets up the meeting? Be like, hey, if you want to make it come true, meet me in the cemetery at dawn. Well, fun fact, in the movie, they didn't meet at the cemetery. They actually met in the woods behind the school. It's a great place to murder your fellow classmates, right? Right behind the establishment, you're stuck with them for like up to 7 hours a day. It's great, it's fun. Now, JD does end up shooting Ram, but you remember the whole chase scene? He's on the fence. Stop being a dick! Pew! Well, in the movie, Veronica is actually the one to shoot Kurt. So, Veronica is more of a murderer in the movie than she is in the musical. Because in the musical, she never directly kills anybody. Even when she kind of is the fault, like, kind of caused Heather's death, it's because she wasn't paying attention. And she didn't, like, keep inquiring with JD, like, no, what's wrong? What do you mean? She just kind of like, okay, I'm going to give her the drink. Oh my god, she's dead. And in the musical, she misses her shot, and JD is the one to kill both of them, so Veronica is kind of like, whoa. But in the movie, she's like really in on it now, because she was the one to shoot Kurt. And it was like, oh, that's changed. Now, when Martha had her suicide attempt, she didn't jump off the bridge. What happened was she was in the gym, she had a soda, it kind of burst all over her, and, like, you just see her, like, kind of like a defeat on her face, and then it cuts to, a scene where she's walking down, like, the school hallway. She has a note taped to her chest. Well, you see her, like, coming closer to the camera, and you notice there's a street right there. So she walks in front of traffic for her suicide attempt, rather than jumping off the bridge, like in the play. We can start and finish wars. We're what killed the dinosaurs. There's actually a really fun dream sequence. When I say fun like that, it makes me sound extremely demented. I am gonna marry a serial killer if I don't become one. But in a fun dream sequence, JD actually goes to murder Heather Duke. Like, he is, like, almost there. And you're thinking, whoa, is this actually gonna happen? This is very different from the musical. Oh, it's a dream. But no, he was, like, downright, like, in her room about to do it. Whereas in the musical, they just kind of play it off as, like, hey, she's been reading Moby Dick. We can do this, Veronica. Come on, you know you want to. One less Heather in the world is perfect. Okay, why did I put that JD plans to see that Veronica is suicidal on the different side? That was the same in both aspects of the things. I'm a scatterbrain. I can't do this. Now, in the movie, unfortunately, we never get that kind of I was meant to be yours scene, where, like, that song is one of my favorites. Unfortunately, in the movie, JD just crawls through her window to find her hanging there. And he has this moment of, like, I came in here to kill you, but you're already dead. I don't know what to do. We were supposed to do this together, but I'm still gonna do it. I'll see you later. And leaves again. But in the movie, like, the reactions to finding of Veronica's mom finding her hanging was so different than the musical. The musical pulled it off way better. In the movie, I didn't understand it. Like, she had, like, no emotion. She walked in, she was kind of looking like, oh, I should have let you do this, or something like that. Just, like, no emotion, no, like, freaking out, like, your daughter's fucking dead. Your daughter is potentially fucking dead, and you're just like, oh, I should have let you do... Like, she's not freaking out or anything, just kind of like, oh. And it's like, that's your kid! You've raised them for at least 17 years! How are you just gonna say, oh? I really appreciated the musical actually made the mom go, ah! I'm not trying not to scream that loud, even though I'm talking very loud because my brother's still asleep in the room next door. But, like, in the musical, at least the mom had freaking emotion to seeing her daughter potentially dead. I mean, I did not understand that in the movie at all. It's like, woman, can you act any poorer? Like, why? You're, like, seriously? It's mind-blowing to me that, like, her only reaction was, oh, I should have, like, just talking calmly, even tone, not freaking out at all over her daughter being dead. Like, did she want Veronica dead? Was she tired of dealing with Veronica? I didn't understand that at all. We're moving topics now because, like, that's just astounding me that she's just like, oh, okay, she's dead. It was like, dude! Alright, my favorite scene in the movie is when Veronica and JD are down in the boiler room. They're going over... They're back and forth between what's going on. Turn off the bomb! Fuck you! And he, like, flips her off. There's fake blood in my hair. Oh, well. And she has a gun. She shoots off his middle finger. It's my favorite scene. Turn off the bomb! Fuck you! It's the best scene. It's my favorite scene. I wish it was in the musical as well, because it's my favorite thing. Fuck you! I should have filmed that before I put the fake blood on my middle finger, but I didn't plan ahead. Now, in the movie, after getting shot in the finger, or getting his finger shot off, JD gets shot a few more times. Like, it's not just the one. No, he gets shot like a few times. He is messed up, man. Okay? And so, like, it's very reasonably like, oh my god, he's dead down here. Well, she turns off the bomb. She just kind of leaves. She doesn't really do anything. She just kind of leaves. She goes stand outside the front of the school. And you see JD come out, and he's like, well, you beat me fair and square, that's cool. And, like, opens his jacket, and the bomb is now strapped to his chest, and he is going on the countdown. And he goes to stand in front of the school to blow up. He doesn't go out to the football field like in the play, where he's like, no one else deserves to die, I'll do it. I'll trade my life for yours, all that. Now, in the musical, he's not the musical. In the movie, he's just like, I'm gonna blow up in front of the school, you know what, screw it. And just kind of... And Veronica takes out her cigarette, waits, and lets him blow up to light her cigarette. And if that's not badass, then I don't know what is. So I think that's all I've got right now for you guys. I hope I covered everything. There might be something I missed. I've been having camera problems. So, most likely I've lost footage again, which is always fun, isn't it? I'm going to jump out my window. But anyway, that's all I've got for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed this. I love making these videos. I love, like, doing these spot the difference games. It's so fun to, like, watch one medium, watch the other medium, and, like, look at how they change things. It's like, whoa, that's really neat. I never would have thought of changing it like that, or I like this change, I didn't like this change. All that jazz. Let me know down in the comments what you liked. What you liked. What did you prefer between the two mediums? Did you prefer how they did things in the movie over the musical, or did you prefer how they did things in the musical over the movie? Let me know down in the comments. If you would like to watch my Be More Chill book vs. musical, you can find that video right about here. Or, if you would like to watch my very bad short skit of I Am Damaged that announced this video right here, you can check that out right about here. Or, alternatively, if you like subscribe, you can check that out right here. And that's all I've got for you guys today. I hope you have a lovely day / night. And remember, chaos killed the dinosaurs, baby.